Hi everybody, solving paper 2 version 1 June 2020. First question, pendulum makes 50 complete swing in 2 minutes 40 seconds. What is time period for one complete swing? We shall divide the total time taken by the 50 swing over 50 to find how much time taken by one swing only. So this gives us 160. Of course, we multiply 2 by 60 to convert the 2 minutes to second, so we can add it to the 40 second. So it gives us 3.2 seconds. Student investigates motion of ball rolling down a slope. Diagram shows the speed of ball at different times. Which statement describes motion of ball? The acceleration is not constant. Let us first look to the acceleration. We start at time t equals 0 second, and after 0.2 second velocity increases by 2.8 centimeter per second, so acceleration in the first 0.2 second was 2.8 over 0.2. And for the second 0.2 second increase in time, we have 5.1 minus 2.8 over 0.2, which is 2.3 over 0.2. For the third 0.2 second increase in time, we have acceleration 7 minus 5.1 over 0.2, which is 1.9 over 0.2. If we look to the numerator or the value of acceleration, we will find that it decreases. So it is not negative and it is just not constant. Which statement about acceleration is correct? It is related to changing speed of an object, yes. And for B, it is the distance, no. It is the force acting on object divided by distance, no. Force acting on object is near the earth, no. So it is certainly A. Which statement correctly describes the effect of placing a heavy load in a car? It is easier to accelerate the car and easier to bring the car to rest? Certainly not, because the mass increases. It is easier to accelerate the car but more difficult to bring the car to rest? No, because the force you need to accelerate is like the force you need to decelerate. Both of them will increase as the mass increases. It is more difficult to accelerate the car and more difficult to bring the car to rest. Yes, this is the correct answer. A mass of 6 kilogram rests on the surface of planet. On this planet, G is equal to 20 Newton per kilogram. What is the weight of the object? So weight is mass times G. So 6 times 20, which is 120 Newton. The mass of a measuring cylinder is 190 gram. And 400 centimeter cube of liquid is put into the measuring cylinder. The total mass of measuring cylinder and liquid is 560. For solid objects are lowered and turned into liquid. The densities of the objects are shown. Which object will float in liquid? So we have to find the density of liquid first and compare it with the different densities of solid to find the one that has less density than the liquid, so this object will float. To find density of liquid, we have here its volume, and we have total mass of cylinder and liquid and mass of cylinder. So rho liquid is equal to 560 gram minus 190 over 400 centimeter cube. The answer will be 0.925 gram per centimeter cube. Out of this solid, we have only the object 1 that can float as its density is lower than 0.925. Oh, sorry. Also, object 2 has a density that less than 0.925, even with only small decrease, but still less. So 1 and 2. Diagram shows a wooden beam BQ of negligible weight, which is attached to a wall by a hinge at B and kept in horizontal position by a vertical rope attached to Q. The beam is 3 meters in length. Man of weight 800 Newton walks along the beam from B to Q. What is the distance of man from B when the tension on rope at Q becomes equal to 500 Newton? Okay, so as the beam is balanced, we have an equilibrium around the pivot B. So force of weight of the man, okay, which act in this direction, should have the same torque like the tension in rope which act in the other direction. So we have 500 times 3.0, which is the length of the beam, the distance from the pivot B to the tension T, which is 500. This equal to 800, which is the weight of the man, times the distance that he is away from B. So answer is 1.875, which is approximately 1.9 meter. Which quantity is vector? It's certainly the acceleration. Object of mass 1.2 kilogram is moving with velocity 2 meter per second when it is acted on by a force of 4 Newton. The velocity of object increases to 5 meter per second. For what period of time does the force act on the object? We know that the force is equal to change in momentum over time. So as we have the value of the force 4 and we have change in momentum which is 1.2 times final velocity 5 minus initial velocity 2. This is over t, so we can easily calculate t. It will be 0.9 seconds. Diagram shows part of roller coaster ride with the car at different positions. The car runs freely down from X to Y and uphill on the other side. What happened to kinetic energy and gravitational potential energy of car as it moves from X to Y? Certainly the gravitational potential energy will decrease and kinetic energy will increase. We'll choose C. Which energy resource doesn't have the sun as the original source? Coal has the original source is sun, and hydroelectric and wind also have its original source is sun. So it is the geothermal which originates from hot core of the earth. Diagram shows solid block resting on bench. Dimension of block are shown on which labeled surface should the block rest to produce smallest pressure on bench. We know that pressure equals to force over area. So to produce the smallest pressure we need to increase the area. So there is the highest area that will be our option. And the highest area comes from 80 times 40, which is the side B. Okay. Pressure due to liquid on object immersed in that liquid is 4,500 Pascal. Density of liquid is 900 kilogram per meter cube. What is depth of object below surface of liquid? We know that B equals rho G H, and we have here the value of B. We have rho of liquid. We have G, which is 9.81. We have to calculate H from this relation. So it would be 0.5 and it is 0.5 meter or 50 centimeter. A gas is heated in a sealed container. The volume of container doesn't change. What happened to molecules of gas? Because the volume doesn't change, so pressure will increase with increase in temperature. And the pressure increase means that average distance between molecules increase. No. Average kinetic energy of molecule increase. Yes. Mass of each molecule increase. No. Volume of each molecule increase. No. So we will have the answer B. And certainly answer A, if the volume is allowed to change, would be correct, but here he stated that volume is constant. Water in beaker evaporates when left on a bench for a period of time. Which three factors all affect the rate of evaporation of water? Wind speed, surface area, temperature. Oh, yes. Solid is heated, causing it to expand. What effect does this have on its mass and on its density? Mass stays constant and the density decreases as rho equals m over v, and v increases with increasing heat. So answer is C. Diagram show 4 blocks of steel. The blocks are drawn to same scale. The same quantity of thermal energy is given to each block. Which block shows the greatest rise in temperature? As we know that Q equals mc delta T, and mass is equal to rho times V, so Q can be written as this. For same delta T and same rho as all blocks from steel, and same C because same material, so Q will make, same Q, so delta T is inversely proportional to volume. So greatest rise in temperature will be for the lowest volume, because we can rearrange this equation to have all constants on one side, so we have Q over rho times C equals to V times delta T. So two quantities multiplied by each other equals constant, means that these quantities inversely proportional to each other, so we will choose A. Why are metals better thermal conductors than other solid? Metals contain the free electron which help transfer the energy. Yes, this is true. Two freezers XY are identical except that one has a door opening at the front and the other has a door opening at top. Both doors are same size and are opened for same amount of time. Which freezer gains the least amount of thermal energy in this time and why? Freezer gaining the least thermal energy will be X, and the reason cold air falls, or X and warm air falls. Certainly this is not accepted because warm air rises, Y and cold air falls. I would choose yes, C. Okay. A wave of frequency 6,600 hertz travels 1,320 meter in 4 seconds. What is the wavelength? We will calculate V first, which is 1320 over 4. This will give us the velocity to be 330 meters per second, and as V equals to F times lambda, so we can have lambda as 30 over 6600. The answer would be 0.05 meter. Diagram shows a wave. What are the amplitude and wavelength of this wave? Amplitude is 3 and wavelength is the distance from here to there. This is 8, so answer is B. Which statement is correct? The speed of light in glass is equal to speed in vacuum multiplied by refractive index. Refractive index is equal to C, which is speed in vacuum, over V, which is speed in medium. So speed in glass V should equal to C over N. So multiply by no, this is not true. Incident angle of light at air glass surface is the angle between the ray and the glass surface. No, it is the angle between the ray and the normal to glass surface. Sine of critical angle of an air glass surface is equal to 1 over refractive index CS, because N is equal to 1 over sine C, which is a critical angle, so sine of C is 1 over refractive index. A narrow beam of light passes through a prism and is dispersed into a spectrum. Which row is correct? Color 1 blue, color 2 yellow, color 3 red. We know that the most energetic deflects more, so we have red and yellow, in between is orange, we have green, indigo, in between is blue, and we have fire. So colors in order will not be blue, yellow, red. Red, blue, yellow is not correct either. Red, yellow, blue is the right choice. An intruder alarm sensor detects that a person is warmer than his surrounding. Which type of electromagnetic wave does the sensor detect? It is the infrared, certainly. Sound travels through air as a series of compressions and refractions. Which statement correctly compares the compression with a refraction? In a compression, the wavelength is longer. No. In a compression, length is shorter. No. Compression density of air is greater. Yes. Than refraction. Nails A, B, C, and D are tested to find which makes the strongest permanent magnet. One of nails is placed against a bar magnet, and the number of paper clips which the nail can support is recorded. The bar magnet is then removed, and the number of paper clips remaining attached to nail is recorded. Each nail is tested individually. Which nail becomes the strongest permanent magnet? So permanent magnet, strongest permanent magnet means it retains magnetization. So when it is attached to the magnet, it has the most number of clips, and as it is removed from the magnet, the nail should retain almost the same number as if it was attached to the bar magnet. So answer will be C. The circuit shows one method of magnetizing a steel bar. It is a question on demagnetization, which is not in the new syllabus. Student uses circuit shown to determine resistance of two identical resistors. Voltmeter reading is 2.2 volt and ammeter reading is 0.25 ampere. What is the resistance of the resistor? So we have from Ohm's law V equals IR, so R is equal to 2.2 over 0.25, which is equal 8.8 ohm, but this for the total resistance in circuit, so for each resistor would be 4.4. An electric fire is connected to 240 volt supply and transfer energy at rate of 1 kilowatt. How much charge passes through the fire in 1 hour? So we know that power is equal to I times V, so I can be obtained by dividing 1 times 10 to the power 3 over V, which is 240, which is equal 4.2 ampere, and I is equal to Q over T. So for 1 hour, Q will be equal 4.2 times 1 times 3, 3,600 to convert the 1 hour to second, because the ampere is coulomb per second. So the answer would be 15000, which is 1.5 times 10 to the power 4. Question 30. Diagram shows an incomplete circuit. Temperature and light level around the circuit remains unchanged. All electrical components are connected in turn across BQ. The cell is reversed and the 4 electric components are connected again in turn across BQ. For which component is there a significant change in magnitude of the current? It will be certainly the diodes, okay, because light dependent resistor doesn't depend on the orientation of battery, and so resistor, and so thermistor. In circuit shown, A1 and A2 are ammeters. This is closed, which shows correct resistance of all circuit. Decreases, reading of A1 stays the same, reading of A2 increases. Okay, for S to be closed, we mean that this resistance become a part of the circuit that affect the current, because total resistance in circuit decrease because these two resistors are connected in parallel, and as total resistance of circuit decrease, this means that the current increase, and A1 and A2 measure the same current as current flows from positive terminal across the A1, and after it is divided in the between the two resistors, it again uh, reconnect to pass through E2. So I will choose resistance of all circuit decreases, and both A1 and A2 increases, and also the same. Logic gate is not in your syllabus. The diagram shows a wire between poles of magnet. Wire is perpendicular to page. The wire is moved and a current is induced upward out of the page. Which direction is the wire moved? So it asks about the force. So we use Fleming left hand. We will make the first finger in this direction, and as the current induced upward, we will make the second finger up. Okay, so the thumb will so the motion will be in the third direction, but here I made a mistake. I said Fleming left hand, but the question says induced upward. So the word induced means that we will use the Fleming right hand, not the left hand. So again, we will make the first finger of our right hand in this direction from north to south, and the second finger in direction of current, which is upward out of page. So the third finger will be in this direction, which is from right to left, and answer is B. 100% efficient transformer converts 240 volt input to 12 volt output. Output power of transformer can be a maximum of 20 watt. Output is connected to 2.3 ampere bulbs in parallel. One of the bulbs fails. How does the current in primary coil it change? So we have first to find the current in primary coil before the change, before the bulb failed. And to find it, we have here a voltage across the secondary coil, and we have the current across the secondary coil, which is 0.6, because the bulbs are connected in parallel, and in parallel connection we add the current. So power the secondary coil, which is equal to ISVS, would be equal 0.6 times 12. This gives 7.2 watt. As the transformer is 100% efficient, power at primary coil should equal power at secondary coil. So power I B VB should equal 7.2. And as VB is 240, so IB will equal 7.2 over 240, which is equal to 0.03 ampere. This is before bulb failing. After bulb failing, Bs will be equal 0.3, not 0.6, because we lost a branch in the parallel connection, times 12. This will give us 3.6 watt. Again, power at primary equal to power at secondary, because it is 100% efficient transformer. So I B VB will equal 3.6. So I B will equal 3.6 over 240, which is equal 0.015. And this is after the bulb fail at the secondary coil. So if we subtract the new value from the old value, we'll get the change. The change is certainly a decrease in current by 0.015 ampere. Cables transmit electric power from output of transformer at a power station to input of transformer at substation. The power at output of transformer at power station is 400 megawatt. Which situation delivers the most power to input of transformer at substation? Is it the potential difference at power station transformer output per kilovolt is 200 and the diameter of cable large, or which one of these choices? As we are looking for the situation that delivers most power to input of transformer at substation, we need the voltage to be the highest. So we will choose either C or D. And the diameter of cable, we need it to be as large as possible to make the resistance as less as possible, because we know that power loss is equal to I squared times R, and R inversely proportional to diameter. So we will choose C. Uranium 235 undergoes a chain decays and eventually form lead 207. During this chain of decay, how many protons and neutrons are lost from single nucleus of uranium to form the lead? Okay, we can see here that 92 becomes 82, so 10 protons have been lost. So we'll choose A or B. And with respect to neutrons in uranium 235, the number of neutrons here was 235 minus 92, which is 143. And the second case equals, if we subtract this number from this, we get 18, so we choose A. Radioactive material has half-life of 20 days. Sample of material contains 8.0 times 10 to the power 10 atoms. How many atomic nuclei have decayed after 30 days? So you should here notice that he asks about how many nuclei that have decayed, not the remained. So as we do our regular calculation by doing this is the first half-life. So we have half of the quantity. We should also write under the arrow the amount that decayed, which is 4 times 10 to 10. So 8 become 4 and 4 decay. For second half-life, we will have 2 times 10 to 10 remain, and under the arrow we write that 2 times 10 to 10 decay. For the third 20 days, this is the last interval in the 60 days, we will have 2 times 10 to 10 become 1 times 10 to 10, and this is what remained, and 1 times 10 to 10 decayed in this third half life. So if we sum the decayed atoms through the 3 half-lives or the 60 days, we will find that equals 7 times 10 to 10. A thin sheet of paper is placed between a radioactive source and radiation detector. The count rate falls to a very low reading. From this result, which type of radiation? It will be alpha particle because it is significantly affected by beta sheet. Alpha, beta, and gamma are emitted by radioactive nuclei when they decay, which emission can be deflected by an electric field. It will be beta and alpha only because electromagnetic radiation, which is gamma, is not affected by electric or magnetic field because it's not charged. Thank you. See you soon.